Hi everyone, this is Deb. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and I'm starting a new series here today. It is called A Valentine or Love Card a Day for 14 days, because, you know, February 14th is Valentine's Day. So we need to get ready for it, right? And so I made 14 cards, and I'm going to share one and how to make it with you each day for the next 14 days. I'll pre-record some videos and get them up for you. And I'm going to use products, some that you might not think are Valentine products. Say, for example, this one we're going to use today, Catching Butterflies. But I thought this sentiment, You Make My Heart Happy, and also this one, Collecting Sweet Thoughts of You, went really well for Valentine's Day. But I'm going to, instead of butterflies, we'll be using the little heart out of Banner Year, and the XOXO, if I can find it on here, right here. There's also a You're Sweet in here, and this little envelope with a heart. So this was in the holiday 2020, and then it carried over to the annual catalog. So this is now in our annual catalog on page 95, the 2021 to 2022 annual, good through April, I believe. And it coordinates with the Banner Pick-a-Punch, but I did not use that this time. And also a Treat So Sweet would be good. So this, I like these all around. Like, this was good for Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas, fall, you know. So, and what I did, okay, here's a tip for you. If you're not sure what is current and what stamp sets you might have, what you can do is go on the Stampin' Up! Website, and there's a little magnifying glass for search up in the upper right corner, and you can search on love, you can search on Valentine or Valentines. I just did it with the Valentine, but you can do it both ways because sometimes it's a little funky, you know. And then there was one other thing, heart. I searched on heart, and then I looked through all my stash. Like, I looked at what came up and said, oh, I have that, I have that, I have that. And I pulled all those things out. And so that's what I'm going to be using for making cards, along with the couple new papers that we have. So anyway, let's make a card. I'll show you the card we're going to make. It is the bookbinding type card using the Catching Butterflies, which is a celebration item. You can get this free with a $50 purchase only through February 28th or while supplies last, because the way shipping things are nowadays, if Stampin' Up! Runs out of a particular item in celebration, they will not restock it, okay? There just won't be time to get it back in before February 28th. So I thought I'd let you know that. Okay, and then the paper we're going to use is, the designer paper is from the Sunshine and Rainbow sale, also a celebration item, free with a $50 purchase. And this is the sheet that I used. It has Pool Party on the back, and then this fine stripe, and the colors, let me tell you what the colors are. They are Bermuda Bay, Flirty Flamingo, Granny Apple Green, Magenta Madness, which is what we're using, Mango Melody, Misty Moonlight, Petal Pink, Pool Party, Soft Sea Foam, and So Saffron. So there you go. It's a really pretty paper, good for birthdays and good for Valentine's Day, I think. So let's go ahead and get this card made. I'll sit this over here, and I think I need to get out the little heart. Or did I already? And the XOXO I used on the inside, so let me get that. And here's the little heart. Okay, and I think that's all I used out of Banner Year. So let me put them aside for now and put these on a block. I have a couple blocks out right now. And I already have the stamps we need from the Catching Butterflies, and I need Magenta Madness ink. And I don't have Magenta Madness ribbon anymore, but I have polished pink ribbon, which I thought did just fine. All right. So, and also, just so you know, I have kind of made a decision that I'm not going to be updating my blog, but I will be putting links, direct links to the products in the video down below, and they'll be valid during the time frame that the product is valid. But if you're watching this months later, I can't guarantee those items will still be available. You'd have to check. Okay, so the first thing we had to do is cut our card. This is an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, 8.5 by 11 inch. This is US. So it's cut in half at the 4 1/4. And then I scored it at 5 1/2, and also I think this is 1 inch in, so 5 1/2 and 1 1/4, 1 1/4 inches in from the edge. Or if you turn it this way, and this is 5 1/2, then it would be, let's see if I'm 4 1/4, at 4 1/4 going this way. Okay, and then we're going to just burnish that. Sometimes I don't burnish it till after I get the designer paper on, or any matting in designer paper, but we'll go ahead and do it. Okay, then I cut this paper, the paper I showed you, and that is a square, I believe is 4 by 4, because it's 4 1/4, yeah, 4 by 4. And then this piece is 4 by 1, because this is 1 1/4. And I'm going to put that piece down first, and I'm just going to use wet glue. Okay, wet glue is my favorite because it gives you a little bit of wiggle room for most things. Now we are going to use a little tear and tape inside, or you could use Seal Plus, but I'm going to use tear and tape because I forget I have it, and it is a strong adhesive to tack this part down once we're that far along. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this series. Okay, then I did already pre-cut this rectangle, and that I forgot to get them out, but that is using the scalloped contour dies. They're in the annual catalog, page 158 or 98. They're in a bundle on page 98, and that catalog again goes through April, I believe, or to April. I think it's through April. Yeah, so it's this size here, which if I remember correctly is about 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. Let me just check. So long wise, it's about 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. Sorry, I was off. And I'll put the measurements, rough measurements, down below as well, but that is the size that I use. There's several. That's like my favorite size in this particular grouping of dies. So we're going to go ahead, and I forgot to get the little girl out, didn't I? I forgot to get the girl. Okay, here we go. I did. I forgot to get her out. Oops. And I also have, oh, and this little dirt kind of thing also I want. I need a bigger block. I need a bigger block for my little girl. That's not going to be big enough. So I'm using for this the E block, and forgive my dirty blocks, I still have not cleaned them. I've been busy making things, so I didn't clean them yet. Yeah, bad me. Sorry. Okay, so let's move that out of the way and bring this in as well for later. And we're going to use actually Memento Tuxedo Black to stamp our little girl. Now normally I would stamp this on the white, and I use basic white for it when I'm coloring with blends, and that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to stamp her, and usually I would say I would stamp first and then die cut, but this one's not too tight of a thing, right? There we go. And let me clean my stamp off a little bit. Put that down here off the desk. Okay, let's go ahead and color. We're going to use Pool Party Light and Dark, and we are going to use Magenta Madness Light and Dark, and we are going to use bronze for her hair, and then this little bit I'm going to use Crumb Cake. And I'm going to go ahead and do that first, actually. Oh, and also Petal Pink Light and Dark. Until we get our skin tone markers, mine should be arriving brand new on Friday. They'll be available to purchase February 1st for customers. Okay. I'm just even going around her foot. There, good enough. So she's stepping in the dirt, so she's not flying in midair, although her other leg is sort of up because she's jumping up to catch the hearts this time instead of the butterflies. Let me get rid of the crumb cake. And let's go ahead and do her dress. The first thing I want to do is stamp the little heart. It's actually a little bit of a big heart, so if you have a smaller heart, I would kind of recommend it. Let's see if I can do better this time. I don't know. It's alright. I could have gone up a little higher, but it's all good. And that was out of the banner year again. And actually, since I have the memento open, I have some circles. This one was from the layering circles, as were these. And I believe this is like the second smallest here. And again, normally I would cut these out after I stamp, but because, well, for one, to save time, I already die cut 2 of these just to make sure. Now, circles usually are not too bad to line up. There we go. And that'll just go like that, okay? And actually, I have a piece to stamp on the inside. Let's just go ahead and do that. We'll do this sort of like a paper pumpkin. We'll stamp everything first, then we'll color. And on the inside, it's also 4x4 white. I have You Make My Heart Happy from the Chasing Butterflies also, or Catching Butterflies. So I have that here. You Make My Heart Happy. And I'm going to line this up and stand up to attempt to get this straight. Yeah, I got a little blob, but you know what? I'm going to put a heart in there, so I'll put the heart there instead of down below this time. I'll put it a little sideways. Maybe I'll put 3 hearts this time. And then also the XOXO we're going to put down here in the corner. So the reason I'm doing this is I got the paper for the Sweet Conversations or Sweet Talk Sweet in the new mini catalog, which I'll show you momentarily. But I did not get the stamp set because I figured I had other stamp sets I could use, and I was right. So let me show you what I'm talking about. This is the mini catalog January to June. This Sweet Conversations bundle goes with the paper, this paper. I did get the paper, and I got these embellishments, and I got this beautiful gingham embossing folder, which I hope carries over. But I didn't get this. Now the only thing about that is I realized I don't really have one stamp that says Happy Valentine's Day. I thought I did, but I don't. So you'll see as we go through our 14-day series what I had to do for that. Alright, let me bring my card back in. And let's go ahead and glue this down. And you want to get it obviously close to this edge because this part here is going to be tacked down but I don't want to tack it down just yet. We're going to color first and finish the front first. And part of that will be the ribbon, after which we'll tack down. Now you could put your ribbon all the way around to the back of the card. Now that's the one thing with wet glue. It gives you wiggle room, but it also can slide, so be careful. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. You see this ribbon does not show on the back of the card because I wrapped it before I tacked that down. And that's my preference. Some people, it doesn't matter. All right, now, one other thing. We're going to color the girl next. Well, soon. This is from the same paper pack, the Sunshine and Rainbows, but we have this new cloud punch, and I didn't realize it until I was looking at the paper again. I'm like, I think that will work with the clouds in this paper. There is this sheet of paper, which you get several of, and this punches out these clouds. So this particular one has hearts on it. I have a little baggie in here of some of the ones I didn't use yet, and they're right here. So there's pink on one side, or this on the other side, and this one and this one here have hearts. So, and you know what? You can punch out the ones on the edges too, because what we're going to do actually, and what was true on this one, this already, it was this one here, it was already on an edge. So I just put it on the edge over here. So don't waste the ones that are edges, is my point. You can still use them on your cards if you plan it well, right? So actually, this one, you know what? I'm going to do that again because I don't really want to cut that now that I already, or let me see if I have I don't think I have another one punched. Let's go ahead and cut that, punch that one, and make sure I get it straight or lined up good. So this is a cloud punch. It's not part of any bundle, but it works with this paper. So there we go. All right, and let me put my punch back over here and put this paper away, and I'll get my little bag out and put the one I don't need in the little bag. So there's a hint for you. If you get the Sunshine and Rainbows, get the cloud punch because it works with it, and also get the rainbow set out of the mini catalog. All right, this we're just going to glue down. Actually, before we glue it down, I need my Magenta Madness, and we're going to use the dark. I didn't quite get that lined up good, and I'm not happy with that, so I'm going to go ahead and cut off a little bit of that white to make it look better. That's just my bad positioning of this, of the punch. All right, so just trim it up a little bit. Now if you do better at lining it up, you do not have to do this. I didn't do it the first time I did this, and I don't know if you can see, there's a nice even white border around on that one. Okay, now we're just going to do a few of these. I'm going to use the nib end, and we're just going to color in a few of these white hearts with our Magenta Madness. You could also use the Stampin' Right marker if you have those to do this. And I did more of them closer to the net, if you will. Oops. And you don't have to be perfect, you know. Do not have to be perfect. But you don't want it to look blobby. You do want it to look like a heart. The tip end would, I mean the brush end tip would work well also. And another one. And you want to do this, well, I think you want to do this before you actually put it on your card. Let's see how that'll look. And then what I do is I just kind of play around with my positioning something like that. I think I could do one more up here and maybe one over here, a few more than what I had. Do this one, and we'll do this one. So it's like flying hearts, and she's catching them. Okay, and then one other thing before we color this is we're going to stamp this little heart right in the net, which I forgot about, and a few other little hearts in the sky. Okay, I'm going to put that right, oops, make sure you get good ink coverage right in here. So I'm kind of filming this a few days after I made this card, so forgive me if I'm not doing it like right in order. We'll do that, and that's enough, I think. 3 in the air, 1 on her dress. Okay, now we're ready to color. Oh my goodness. And we'll start with the net, and all I did, I think used light Pool Party, and I just used the brush end, and you know, carefully went around the edges first. And you can stamp the heart after you color this, it's fine, but it's gonna look like the heart is encased in the netting. In the Celebration brochure where this stamp set is with the butterflies, they do have one, you know, one in the net, a butterfly in the net. And that is really all the Pool Party we're going to use. And if you wanted to, you could take your blending brushes and do the whole sky, but I didn't feel it was necessary. All right, now Magenta Madness. Let's just go down and do her hair next. And I'm using bronze. You could use Crumb Cake, you could use one of the yellows, So Saffron, or what's the other one we have? Daffodil Delight, I think. Yeah, Daffodil Delight. Cinnamon Cider you could use anything really that you would like. You could use black. I have trouble coloring black hair for some reason. You can't see the lines as well, like, so maybe a dark gray would be good. Mine is more of a white gray right now. It's sort of salt and pepper, but I let my hair grow out and I'm not coloring it anymore, at least right now. And it really looked bad for, I don't know, 6 months to a year, but now it's so grown out, and I got it cut a while back so that most of the color that I had is cut off now, and it looks actually much better than it did with partial, you know, partial color and partial not. But I need to get one more haircut to get rid of the rest. Let's see, there's a little bit right there. Okay, so that is her hair. Easy peasy. See, I missed a spot here. And I went out of lines a little bit there, but you know where her hair is flowing in the wind. It's all good. If you really get upset about that, you can use the color lifter. I'm not going to bother. Let's do her skin next. This is light and dark petal pink that I'm using, and I'm going to use the nib end and go around to her ears first of all, and go around the edges of her face. And I'm also going to give her a little bit of rosy cheeks here. Okay, and then I'm going to do her little hands. It might be easier to use the and her neck with the dark, and her legs because they're small. Legs and feet. Too cold for bare feet in the house even now. We were, yesterday I think the high was 23 Fahrenheit. It was pretty nippy. I know some of you are in areas that are much colder, so bless you. And I'm going to use the brush end and color her face in, blend that out a little bit. You could probably do her nose with the dark too, just a little bit there, but it's all good, right? Blend those cheeks in a little bit. There we go. Okay, and now we'll do her dress with Magenta Madness, dark and light. And I'm going to use the nib end again. For outlining, I do like the nib end, or small spaces like this, which we'll do. But I don't want to use dark around where the heart is, because the heart won't show up then, right? You could make the heart a different color. That would work as well. But I rather like the pink for the heart, right? And don't go too close to the edge because it might bleed outside. Alright, now let's use, I'm going to use the nib end for this also. No, actually I'll use the brush end. It's a larger area. What you also could do, and maybe we'll do this, is use the color lifter. Yeah, we might have to stamp that hard again. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to try something. I don't know if it'll work. We're going to try something though. I can see the outline of the heart a little bit, but I think the last time I stamped it after I colored. I'm going to get my white ink, my Whisper white ink. Hopefully it has enough ink. I'm going to stamp a white heart on there. Let me see if this will work on a piece of some kind of scrap. There we go. I'll try it on this red scrap. It'll be faint, but I probably need to ring this soon. But let's try it. I might blend those edges in a little bit. Actually, I don't know. I think it'll be alright. It'll be alright. Just gives a little, yeah, I think that'll be alright. Okay, so that is that piece. And then what we're going to do is get everything put together. So first thing is we're going to figure out our spacing. This is going to go up on adhesive sheet actually. That's about where I want the cloud, up pretty high. And that I'm going to glue down. And even it out with the paper here. Now if you are using one that it's not already edged, don't put your paper down until you do that first, because that way you can see where the edge is. Now you could use dimensionals for this, but I'm going to use our adhesive sheets, and actually there's one in here that will work just perfectly. Yay. These see if I have the cardboard for it. These are called foam adhesive sheets. They're in the annual and they're item 152815 if you are interested. I love them for this very purpose actually, is to put them on larger rectangles and things so you don't end up using so many of your dimensionals, right? Okay. And then we'll put that down on here, right? You do have to get your positioning pretty well, you know, judged before you put it down, because once that's down, it's not coming back up without tearing your paper, just so you know. Now on this one, I'm gluing down what we stamped in the layering circle, but we're going to put this up on, actually I'm probably going to have to use a piece of that as well, because this, I find these are a little bit thicker than our dimensionals. So if I use a dimensional, it'll be slanted down. So I'm going to use a piece of this over here. Actually, I'm going to cut it like a dimensional more. Just cut a couple pieces off. And I want that over on this side, mostly. And then we'll glue the other part onto here. Let's do that. And put a little glue over here. And put that away for now. So let's take this off. I hope you're having a good start to your 2022. I can cover up some of that. There we go. Alright, and then we'll put some bling on, but let's do our ribbon next. Pretty sure what I did here, I'm going to do my ribbon here, this is, I went ahead and tacked it down in here. So let me get, I'm going to use Seal Plus first. And we're just going to tack that down. Oops. In a stripe. Now you could wrap it all the way around. If you're good at tying bows completely wrapped around, you go for it. I am not. And now I can actually tack this down. A little cat fur or Deb fur there. And here's tear and tape. Because now that we have the ribbon adhered, we can put tear and tape on, or Seal Plus would be the best. Something strong, a strong adhesive. Wet glue would be alright too. I just don't want to overdo it and have it oozing out. So this is our tear and tape. It's in the annual catalog as well. And I'm sorry I don't have the number. I'm going to give that a good rub. And then I will get my pick tool and try and get that started up. There we go. 1, 2, and 3. All right. There we go. And scissors I need. Now I'm going to take another little piece. Maybe, actually we'll just leave it on the roll. And we're just going to tie a fake bow onto this ribbon. Easy way to do it, right? And that way your ribbon's not sliding around your card. If I can get it tied. This is a very slippery ribbon, so but it's pretty. And I'm just going to cut it at an angle there. And cut this down. I didn't pull it real tight. I'm going to slide it down just a little bit. Actually, we can adjust it how you want it to be. And then, that's pretty good. And then what I do is I take my dots, which I had to start a new roll, your adhesive dots, and I put it right under where that bow is only. And that helps keep that bow into position. And also, it just kind of keeps the whole ribbon tacked down a little better. And I didn't get that the best, but it's pretty good. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Now we just have to add some bling. And so what I use for this one is the, where are they? Now I think these are retired. We have these in the 2020 to 2022, we now have these square dots, but I still have some of these left over in the Magenta Madness, so I use those. But you can also take your Stampin' Blends and color your rhinestone basic jewels, and that would work perfectly fine as well. But I happen to have these, so I'm going to use them. All right, and we're just going to put 3. Or also in the new mini catalog, there are some really pretty iridescent gems now. Let's see, we'll put one there, and then we're going to put one up in the sky up here, because I think it just, oh, first of all, I have a little pink there, so we'll put it right there where that pink boo-boo is. And that is our first of 14 cards using some sort of unlikely sets. Well, one of them unlikely, Catching Butterflies. And I'm going to be using these sentiments again on other cards later, and you'll see that when we get to it. But also the banner year for the heart and the XOXO on the inside. So we used a combination of things. So use some things in your stash, but combine it with new things like the Celebration, Sunshine and Rainbows paper. Really pretty paper. Highly recommend it. So get some things out of the annual, you know, your cardstock, your adhesives and things, your dies if you don't have any of the dies yet. Get the Cloud Punch. It's great. I'm going to be using the Cloud Punch a lot. I love it already. So that's a recommendation. And whatever you need or want, and then get some free things from Celebration, like the Catching Butterflies and also the Sunshine and Rainbows paper. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this series. I had a lot of fun. I just sat down for a day and a half and made a lot of cards, and I thought that's going to be way too long since this one's already 37 minutes, right? Hopefully some of them will be shorter. Anyway, I will let you go. Thanks again for joining me. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. It helps the YouTube algorithm or whatever. Leave me a comment and let me know if you like it or not. And also, surprise, surprise, I'm going to give one of these away. Put a comment down below that you would like the card, and then probably when the 14 days is up, I'll do a drawing for each day, one of the cards from each day, because I'll have one made which I'll keep, and then I'll send one away. So if you would like one of these cards, leave a comment down below and let me know that, and I'll put you in the drawing for day 1 of 14. Okay? Thank you. Hugs, love, and peace. Take care.